So let's go back to our wonderful guest, Mike Finch, author of A Time to Stand. Go to Amazon or frontpagemag.com, click a store, grab a copy, start reading, because it's gonna go boom, boom, boom. Every single essay is gonna get you going on thinking and thinking and thinking some more. So grab a copy of it. Okay, back to your wonderful book, Mike. This one was very fascinating for me because I have I had no idea this is what you're looking at. So I'll just read what you said, and then if you could enlighten me and my audience, those who may not understand your claim. You argue that World War I destroyed Western Christian civilization. How?
Well, pre-World War One, you have the royalty ran most of those kind of the Russian Empire, the Austrian Empire, of course, the German Empire. These were all Christian. They were at peace. Europe was in a position of great strength across the world, I think, and unsurpassed economically, culturally. World War I was actually totally destroyed a generation of men from these countries. Millions died. And I'd still say, for what? I'm not saying there wasn't any sacrifices made, but I guess to fight the world, to save the world for democracy, as Woodrow Wilson, that is incredibly foolish. I don't think America should have ever gotten in that war. That war should have never started. That's one of those cases where there should have been some kind of peace settlement. Look what happened. The Russian Empire, it was changing. It was moderating. There was great change coming in Russia under the czars. The czars and the Russian Empire collapsed. Communism came. Tens of millions of people died. The German Empire collapsed. The monarchy fell, and then we had 20 years, and then Hitler took over, and then tens more millions of people died. I think the Christendom, the West before World War I had a confidence in itself as a great Christendom. I think had a great confidence, and I think all collapsed after World War I. I think you saw this in the 20th century. Europe, I think, talk about losing your soul. I think they lost so much, and they really lost everything in World War I. I don't think Europe and the world have ever recovered, and Europe has lost its place, lost its confidence. In how proud that Europe was, and they should have been proud. It was a great civilization. There are still great things with Europe, but Europe is collapsing. You talk about what ails America. You see what's happening in France and in Great Britain with massive Muslim immigration. They're losing. Talk about losing your culture. Will some of these countries, I have an article in there talking about Germany and France, will they become Islamic in some time in the future? I think you'd be foolish to say that will never happen. And I really look to World War I as the war that really decimated. They lost their soul. They lost their confidence. And I think that was a death knell for Christendom. What we thought of as Christendom for centuries, it is never. Europe has never recovered. Certainly, America did not have to bear the brunt in that war, and we survived that war. I think culturally, somewhat. Although even America changed dramatically. I think after World War I, we became much more cynical in our culture, in our art, and again. The World War II is really the extension of World War I. So I think great devastation was done to the Christendom, and primarily due to World War I. If I'm explaining that as best as I can, it was a devastating war. It was an unnecessary war, and I think we're living with the consequences, and we will for a very long time.